From 4 new skins to a brand new collab, a patch note is finally live in the advanced server. And man, this one has some really big changes. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we are going to unpack the latest patch note 2.1.84 and everything that came with it. Before we jump into the hero adjustments, there is currently a matchmaking test happening in the advanced server for servers 57,061 all the way to 57,095. And during this test period, some social features may not work properly. Things like profile access, gifting skins or items, or even interactions like super likes, pokes, and score invites may get affected temporarily. So if your friend suddenly ignores your invite, maybe don't unfriend him yet, alright? The test is expected to end on May 25. Alright, time to check on the hero adjustments. We will start with the scariest mage, Eudora. Muntun basically made her lightning combo much easier to trigger now. Her passive duration got increased from 3 seconds to 5 seconds, which is honestly huge because now enemies stay marked for much longer. And the bigger change comes from skill 1. Previously when the delayed lightning damage triggered, it only reduced the cooldown by 1.5 seconds. But now it reduces half of the entire cooldown instead. So Eudora players can rotate their combos much more smoothly now, especially during chaotic team fights, where targets keep getting chained by lightning. This definitely feels like a buff aimed at making her more consistent instead of just pure one-shot gambling. Now from lightning to maple leaves, Irara also received some pretty nice buffs. Her passive now deals more damage to minions, scaling from up to 30 plus 4 times hero level %, which means her lane clearing and farming speed just became much faster. Skill 1 also got lower cooldown in the early game, dropping from 8.5 seconds to 7.8 seconds, and skill 2 received slight damage increases as well. Not the craziest buffs ever, but definitely enough to make her feel smoother and stronger throughout the match. And then we have Balman. Yup, the spinning guy is back again. His skill 2 physical attack scaling got increased from 20% to 25%. Simple buff, but honestly dangerous. Because every time Balman gets even a tiny damage increase, jungle players somehow turns into Beyblades again and start invading everything. Now let's talk about Argus, because this adjustment is actually pretty interesting. Muntun said they want experienced Argus players to have more practical advantages instead of relying on gimmicks. So first, they completely removed the effect where manually casting ultimate reduced its cooldown by 30%. Cooldown itself. It now goes from 60 to 50 seconds down to just 45 to 35 seconds. That is a huge difference. However, the automatic Eternal Evil trigger duration got reduced from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. So basically less safety net, but way more uptime. Good Argus players are probably going to love this because now they can fight more often instead of waiting forever for ultimate. And speaking of heroes that hate interruptions, Audit finally got some love. One of the most annoying things about Audit was getting her ultimate ruined by every tiny immobilize effect in the game. Now Muntun adjusted it so her ultimate won't feel accidentally interrupted anymore. Her skill 1 slow also got buffed from 30% to 40%, making it easier to trap enemies inside her ultimate. But the biggest change is this: Audit no longer jumps to a target location when casting ultimate. And instead of being slowed by 90% during ultimate, she now only gets slowed by 20%. So she can reposition much more comfortably while channeling. Honestly, this feels way smoother to play. Audit mains are finally free from suffering. Now let's move to the wildest experimental buff in this patch, Masha. Muntun is clearly trying hard to bring her back into the meta. Her passive got heavily adjusted, the wound effect is now larger, and breaking a wound triggers feral state for 3 seconds while transforming her next 3 basic attacks into giant claw strikes. And yes, these claw attacks can now stack up to 6 times. That already sounds terrifying. But skill 2 also got buffed. Every time one of her HP bars get depleted, skill 2 now resets automatically, and the damage got reworked too. The base damage increased massively, although physical scaling got lowered a bit. This basically means Masha will feel way more aggressive and much easier to enter her beast mode during fights. And honestly, late game Masha might become an absolute nightmare again. But it's not all sunshine this patch, because Zhuxin took a pretty noticeable nerf. Muntun said she is overperforming in both ranked and pro plays, So they increase the mana cost of skill 2 from 45 all the way to 75. That is a big jump. Early game Zhuxin players are definitely going to feel this one. Interestingly though, they also slightly buffed her passive mana regeneration from Crimson Butterflies from 3% to 4%. So the idea here is pretty obvious. They want Zhuxin players to manage resources properly instead of endlessly spamming skill 2 every few seconds. Now for Ruby players, there is a small adjustment here. Moontun reverted some of her damage back into Spellwhelm Sustain. Her passive Spellwhelm ratio increased from 60% to 75%. But in exchange, both parts of skill 1 got reduced damage scaling. So overall, Ruby becomes slightly less bursty but tankier during fights. Honestly, this feels more natural for Ruby anyway. She is supposed to annoy you forever in team fights, not delete you in one combo. And finally, Edith also received a small but useful buff. Her skill to cooldown now scales from 10 seconds down to 8 seconds instead of staying flat at 10 seconds the whole game. Simple adjustment, but this gives her much better mobility during mid to late game fights. More dashes means more engage opportunities and more chances for Edith players to suddenly transform and start deleting your backline out of nowhere. Now let's move into the battlefield effects because there have been some update once again. The nowhere to hide effect is returning with the updated Wisp locations. The old fire turtle has now been renamed to healing turtle with new mechanics, and golden turret effects also received some adjustments. These changes are currently being tested for selected players only, and Moontun said more updates and optimizations are still coming in the future patches. Now let's talk equipment adjustments because some pretty important items got changed here. Starting with Great Dragon Spear. Moontun basically reverted the item back closer to the official server version while keeping its original identity intact. The newer passive effect has now been transferred over the Berserker's Fury instead. And speaking of Berserker's Fury, this adjustment is actually huge for crit heroes. Developers said they wanted to maintain damage against squishy backline heroes while increasing damage against frontliners. Its physical attack got reduced slightly from 65 to 60. Crit damage also dropped from 40% to 30%. But the item now has a completely reworked passive called Do. Whenever your basic attack lands a critical hit, it deals extra 2 damage equal to 12% of the damage before reduction. So basically, crit heroes can now shred tanks much more effectively. Marksman players are definitely looking at this item very carefully right now. Now for roaming players, Conceal received a pretty nice buff. Its cooldown got reduced from 80 seconds down to just 60 seconds, meaning roamers can make aggressive plays much more often now. Expect more surprises, initiations, more flank setups, and probably more teammates screaming "Go, go, go" every minute. And finally, Dire Hit also got adjusted. The movement distance required to gain one stake of force got reduced from 2 to 1, which basically means Dire Hit stakes can now build up much faster during rotations. Small adjustment on paper, but definitely a noticeable buff for aggressive roamers who constantly move around the map. Overall, these battlefield effects and equipment changes feels heavily focused on improving map interaction and faster team momentum. There's also some other battlefield adjustment in this patch. Custom UI settings can now be changed during matches and will apply instantly without needing to restart the game, which is honestly a pretty nice quality of life update. Moontun is also testing a brand new Mythical Honor battlefield system. Basically, certain heroes' balance changes will only apply to higher rank matches to improve hero diversity in competitive play without affecting lower ranks. For testing purpose in the advanced server, this feature has temporarily been lowered to master rank. And because of that, several heroes received exclusive adjustment here. Alpha's ultimate cooldown got reduced. Edith received another skill 2 cooldown buffs. Dido defense reduction became even stronger. Wells' ultimate slow got massively increased and Melissa also got a lower skill 1 cooldown. There were also some bush visions optimizations. Heroes entering bushes without nearby enemies will now disappear instantly from vision, making rotations feel smoother. But if 2 allies are hiding in the same bush and one leaves, the remaining heroes will stay visible for a short moment before disappearing. Now moving to system adjustments. A new main hero name card feature has been added, allowing players to show off states of their favorite and most played heroes. The public chat channel was also optimized by removing unrelated content from the advanced server chats. There are also some improvements for in-match likes. Moonton adjusted the transparency of like notification so they block the screen less during fights, improved the feedback for consecutive likes, and added a new fist bump notification when teammates like each other back after assist. And finally, offline mode received several quality of life upgrades. On heroes can now gain hero mastery in offline mode. Ranked matches are unlocked for up to 2 games. Random maps are now supported and players can instantly restart matches through a quick play again option without returning to the main lobby. Let's check on surveys now. Well, we have 2 more skin surveys for Zhuxin Golden Month skin. The first one gives more of a mystical desert princess vibe with the moon lantern, butterflies and those blue gold details. Meanwhile, the second design feels cleaner and more royal, especially with the pink and white color combination. As for the votes, most of you have chosen theme 1, which is good to be honest. Time to check on the upcoming new skin. Starting with the MSC skin of Baxia. Next is Joy Special Skin Badlands Scraper. This will be free skin in the Street Fighter series.
Time to drop the beat of the flash.
There's a new Roger Special Skin Ashborn Gunslinger.
I see lots of prey.
Next, Angela's Season 41 Elite Skin Wind Up Courier.
Love and hope are the 2 greatest inventions.
We also have the final intro of Kirara. All these skins are super cool, and if you wanna see the full skill effects, then why not check out this video. The link will be in the top right corner.
Hails.
Alright, moving on to the other updates. First up, we have the chat bubble of Street Fighter collab. Then there is a notification of the collab event. And lastly is the recall effect. The event is live right now in the advanced server. And if you want to know all the event mechanics, be it draw, prize pool or drop rates, then I suggest you to check out this video. We also got 3 new splash arts in this patch. Angela's Season 41 is delivering some letters for you here, probably your ranked emotion letter. Then there is Joy's special skin splash art. Looks like she's mocking Brock Lesnar. And lastly is the Roger special skin. So guys, there you have it, patch note 2.1.84 and everything that came with it. Now it's your turn to tell me which update do you really like. Is it going to be the new skins or the new collab? Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.